Hello, my name is Kyle Pleva and I work with Viacom CBS. I volunteer with Link because I feel it's essential for children to embrace reading. I think it is fundamental and a way to escape and a way to learn more about the world. Did you know that 2 out of 3 children live in poverty in New York City are unable to read at grade level when tested in the 3rd grade? During these difficult times, snuggling up with your favorite book can be a great way to relax. So sit back, take a deep breath, and enjoy the story. I'm going to be reading The Swarm That Swarmed, a short story by Fernanda Lazzaro. Can you see the cover? The 3 friends are looking for ways with the bees all up top. Look how pretty the town looks. The narrow Alton River runs for miles and miles across the county of Katy, weaving in and out of green rolling hills. Hidden in the valley where the east meets west lies the town of Tilsonbug, so tiny that it could be missed in the blink of an eye. On the left side of Main Street, one will find a convenience store that sells worms and ice cream. Not worm ice cream, ugh, but worms and ice cream separately, found at opposite ends of the shop. Next to the convenience store is the library that is much larger on the inside than it looks on the outside. Love the library. You can go in there and just find any book you've ever thought of and sit for hours and just read and enjoy. And even a hardware store. On the right sits the farmer's market and the post office and the elementary school. We're all in elementary school, aren't we? Tia, Vivian, and Phil have lived in Tilsonbug all their lives. Phil, short for Filbert, not like the cartoon, and Vivian were brother and sister. Twins, in fact. Do we have any twins out there? I've always wished I had a twins because I hear they can read each other's minds. But not identical twins, because boys and girls, brothers and sisters can't be identical. They have to be paternal. Tia and the twins were in grade 4, so 4th grade. Another summer break had arrived, and the twins planned to spend it like all the other kids, sleeping in and watching cartoons. What's your favorite cartoons? I think my favorite would have to be, I loved Looney Tunes. I hope you guys watch Looney Tunes as well. Tia, however, believed that watching cartoons was for toddlers. I disagree. After she had a healthy breakfast and tidied her room, Tia had set aside some time for grooming herself. She would not leave the house on any occasion without looking proper and going out to play with her 2 best friends. We can see Tia here brushing her hair. Can you see that? Tia was about to finish her ensemble with a hair bow when she noticed a bee buzzing around in her room. Bzzz. Terrified, she ran out of the house to the twins' house, only half a loop tied in her satin hair ribbon. Walking over to their house would usually be a 10-minute affair, but this time she reached within 60 seconds. Gosh, she must have been going so fast. Can you see them here? Vivian and Phil were sitting by the creek in their backyard and munching on donuts. Oh, I love sprinkled chocolate donuts. When their usually prim and proper friend ran to them looking completely disheveled. "Did you see a ghost or something?" Vivian exclaimed. "Why on earth do you look like that?" Trying to catch her breath so that she could explain her terror, Tia noticed the sugary treats Vivian and Phil were eating. Donuts? First thing in the morning? Honestly, that's no way to feed a growing body. "It's not morning anymore. It's afternoon," Phil mumbled, his mouth full. Can you see here, spiders? And he says, "I'm no insect. I'm proud to be an arachnid." Tia shook her head in disapproval, allowing the half bow in her hair to unloop itself. She looked up and screamed, "Bees! They're haunting me!" The twins looked up, too, and saw hundreds of bees overhead, flying towards a nearby tree on the property. Unable to contain their excitement, the 2 jumped up to follow the insects, but Tia kept her distance from the bees and the siblings, who were now standing right below the branch on which the busy buzzing bees had gathered. Bzzz, bzzz. "Are you 2 crazy? Are you looking to get stung?" Tia whispered, terrified. It's not like they're creepy insects like spiders or something, Vivian emphasized. Hey, you want... There's no way I'm staying here with those things in my vicinity, honestly. Please don't go home, Tia. Phil and I will get rid of them, Vivian pleaded. We will? A confused Phil asked, turning to his sister. Let's go to the market and get some honey, Vivian continued, ignoring Phil. There was no point arguing with Vivian once she had her mind made up. Do we know a lot of people like that? Ooh, look at the honey she got. Phil and Tia plodded along reluctantly, listening to Vivian passionately declare her desire to save the bees. They're becoming extinct, you know. Now is our chance to do something about that. Who knows what they're running from, the poor things? After a while, the trio returned to the backyard with 2 pails of honey. You two can direct the bees to that tree over there, Tia suggested, pointing to a tree on the other side of the water and quickly taking a few steps back to avoid any contact with the insects. I'll sit on Phil's shoulder and wave a twig with honey on it so they can smell it, reaching real high. After that, we can guide them to that tree. Vivian asserted, extremely proud that she had thought of something so clever. But after about a minute of trying to lure the bees, the children did not have much success. Hey, you're dropping honey all over me, Phil complained, shielding his face. Oh, shush, I'm trying to concentrate, responded Vivian. The squabble began between Phil and Vivian and continued until Phil lost the balance and they found themselves on the ground, covered in honey. Ooh, that's a sticky situation. The more they squirmed about, the more they seemed to get glued together. And we know what it's like being glued next to your brother or sister. In a desperate attempt to help her friends, Tia reached over to give Vivian and Phil a hand, curbing her fear of the hovering insects. But she too slipped and fell into the sticky mess. For the love of honeycombs, my dress, Tia moaned. Unable to contain their giggles any longer, the twins burst into laughter. Even Tia joined in, laughing at their sticky situation. Can you see Tia laughing here? Phil had a sudden brainwave. A honey trail! A honey trail will make a trail to the tree, he exclaimed. Shouldn't we clean ourselves first? Tia asked. Nah, let's just wash off what we finished the trail. We're on a roll, Phil hollered, flashing up a bright smile. With the second pail in hand, Phil poured the honey straight onto the ground and walked backwards as the girls guided him towards the tree, walking backwards as well. More to the left, a little to your right, the girls instructed in unison. How will we get the honey to stick to the water, Vivian wondered. While losing her footing on the edge of the creek, she grabbed onto Tia and then grabbed onto Phil. Can you see them there? And that is how all 3 of them ended up splashing into the shallow water. The pail of honey flew up in the air and landed on Phil's head. Can you see it on Phil's head? Phil, not even a bit amused, removed the pail from his head and said, How will we get the honey to stick to the water? Oh, I don't know. Maybe we can make a bridge connecting the 3 of us and pour honey all over us. Oh, wait, we already have honey all over us, Vivian. Okay, enough, you two. If anyone should be upset, it should be me. My dress smells like the creek. Ew, Tia wailed. Slowly, the children washed off to the honey and sat by the creek, drying in the sun. No bees could be seen on the honey trail. Neither were they in the air. There were no bees anywhere except for the branch of the tree near the house. Ooh, looks like they're getting ice cream. What's your favorite flavor? Mine is chocolate with peanut butter. I'm hungry, Phil spoke up. Let's get some ice cream. He led the 2 girls to the convenience store where they picked their preferred flavors. Phil chose a concoction of chocolate chip, caramel, mint, and mango ice cream, making Vivian and Tia cringe in disgust as all of it mushed together in one large sugar cone. Oh, that sounds like a lot. Vivian picked the pistachio ice cream in a regular cone, while Tia chose vanilla in a small cup. I don't trust what they put in these flavored ice cream, and I highly doubt that the cone is natural, Tia commented disdainfully. Since the library was next door, Vivian got an idea. Let's go and find some information about bees, she suggested. You want me to go in there on my summer break? Phil responded, rolling his eyes. What did they put in your pistachio? Nuts? Phil laughed at his own joke while Tia and Vivian made their way into the library. Phil soon followed after he finished his ice cream. See, remember how they said they sell worms? You can see they say, we sell worms. Oh, worm ice cream. They found a book on bee pollination and other bee facts. The queen bee is the leader of the honeybee colony. Do you see her there? Queen bee. Just like Beyonce. The worker bees are all females. Only female bees have stingers. What? That's new for me to learn too. Vivian, everything is always better when a girl is the boss. Tia, girls are better than boy bees. Phil, see, even girl bees are meaner than boy beans. Not beans, bees. Whoops. The female bee lands on a flower to drink the nectar, which she later turns into honey. This is the way some fruit, vegetables, and flowers grow and multiply. If it is a boy flower, it will contain pollen. The pollen sticks to the bee's legs. Some of the pollen will rub off her legs when she visits a girl flower at some point. The children felt somewhat defeated after leaving the library. They still had not learned the reason all those bees were on the branch in their backyard. They sat down on the curb and just outside the library. Those poor bees, they do so much for us. I wonder what scared them, eh? Vivian asked. You can see them sitting on the steps. At least we tried to get them out of the tree. Maybe something was following them, Tia speculated. At the moment, Farmer Drone was leaving the hardware store where he overheard the children. He walked over to them and said, I was wondering why my beehive was partially full this morning. Those must be my bees in your tree. Farmer Drone? Why did the bees run away? Vivian asked. They aren't running, the wise gentleman added with a chuckle. They're swarming. You see, they outgrew the home they lived in. So they're hanging out on your branch until they find a new home, somewhere cozy and safe. Next time you see this happen, you can call a beekeeper, like myself, and we can remove the bees without harming them. I'll take a look at them now. I was just on my way home. Be good now, kids. Thank you, Mr. Drone, the children chimed together. Wow, I feel like my brain has grown larger, Tia exclaimed. Phil did not want to admit it, but he did agree with her. After all, he had a reputation to maintain. I think it should be illegal to learn anything when we're not in school. Girls, you want to go fishing? I'll grab some worms. Okay, as long as we keep the fish in the water, Vivian declared. And so on the first day of their summer break in their tiny town of Tilsonbug, 3 young people learned that even the small things in life can make a big difference. The end. Wow, I learned a lot reading that book. I hope you guys did too, and I hope you enjoy your summer. And I know these are different times, but you deserve to read a book and escape. So I really hope you do so, and it was a pleasure reading with you. Have a great time. Be well.